Good evening and welcome to the Anthony Cosby Show. I am your host, Mr. Anthony Cosby, and I want to take this time to thank all of you for tuning in this evening. Once again, my name is Anthony Cosby and this is my show, and today begins the beginning of a whole new transition here on Comcast Network. So, I'm pretty sure some of you at home are wondering, who is that kid on my TV screen? Well, let me properly introduce myself. My name is Anthony Cosby and I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I was born and raised here. I went off to college at Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina, where I majored in mass communications, and I graduated in May 2010. So hopefully that'll give you guys a little background history about me. This evening, our topic is going to be called College Hill, the struggles associated with life after college. And I personally chose to do that topic because a lot of universities recently had their commencement ceremonies. And I also know a lot of people who are personally dealing with that. So that's why I wanted to do that. My guests this evening are Miss Alicia Seay and Mr. Shaun Frisk. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this project. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
No problem. Now, before we get started, if you guys should hear anything that we say or something we miss, something that you have more knowledge of or anything, please do not hesitate to give us a call on the phone right here. The number is 804-915-5202. Again, that number is 804-915-5202. All right, Alicia, can you please tell the viewers a little bit about your college experience?
Definitely. It was fun. I can definitely say that. It took me 5 years, so I'm not ashamed to say that I was a super senior, but it was just that summer. It was the summer that I needed, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do going into school. I just wanted to be hands-on with everything, but I did know it was mass comm. I knew because I just want to interact, talk, engage, and help people and do something. So I wanted to do journalism, then it switched to broadcast, then it was PR. PR was it. And, so I did that for a while, but I realized, I'm getting ready to graduate, and I didn't have a definite plan. Because going through college, I felt like I could do it like high school. Get good grades, get out, and everything's good, but it wasn't the same. And so right before I graduated, I started a company with my friend, a good friend of mine, Drew Little, and it was the Illuminated Ventures Project. And from there, I found that I could put all the passion I had that I was gaining from school into something with a purpose afterwards. And then I could, during my senior year, in that last stretch, I could build a company and kind of have something to myself or for myself coming out of school that I could, just kind of help people and reach out. And it wasn't just, I don't know, it just, I figured out what my thing was. And that is the key for me going through school. It's just kind of finding out where you stand,
Most definitely. Thank you so much for that. How about you, Shaun? What's your story?
I did a few years at, a semester actually, not a few years, at J. Sargent Reynolds, but I didn't know what my major would be, and I found an accelerated school out Orlando, Florida, where you take 1 or 2 classes a month, but it's like the fast track. I got my bachelor's in 2 years, entertainment business. I actually switched my major when I initially went there for recording arts. Okay. And then I switched over because I was only taking recording arts to take their music business program. Then they came out with the entertainment business, so I was there. And the planning graduation for my bachelor's, I didn't know what to do. I was panicking. You have a bachelor's, you kind of feel qualified to go anywhere and get a job, or so that's what they tell you. And I went back to school. I ran back to get my master's, and now I'm at the same boat that Miss Alicia was, where I don't know what to do.
I can say, getting out of school, I actually wanted to jump right back into school. I was like, you know what? I've started this company, with some really good people who are passionate about it, but I need to get back into school. And then actually, coming out of school and being here a year later, I started to feel that need to want some kind of mentorship or, I wanted to still learn about my craft at the same time practice it. So, I wanted to go to school. It's just that college struggle. I can't pay for grad school right now, so it ain't happening.
Right. So you mentioned about getting out of school. So did you guys deal with that play pause theory? Now we have a caller.
Already?
Already.
You're doing good.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Anthony!
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? This is Bria. You may not know my name, but you know my face.
Bria, how are you, Bria?
I'm good. I just want to say congratulations on your show.
Thank you
and
so
I'm watching
much.
it.
I'm doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing good, but yeah, keep going with your show.
All right, I'm going to call you back. Thank you, Bria, for the first phone call. But, like I said, the play pause theory, because I know when I went to school, I felt like my life was pressed pause. And when I graduated, I felt like the play button was pressed. And I say that to say that when I graduated, it was like I basically started where I left off.
Okay.
So it was like it was on pause. I went to school, had time to do this. Now I'm right back at the scene where it stopped at. Did you guys go through that?
I would say more, instead of play, I would say fast forward, because like she mentioned, she did 5 years in the school. I went to accelerated school, and that was 3 years where you kind of got to make up for the time lost where you spent in school, and we have accumulated this debt. So now you're back to where you left off with, you know, a degree, but at the same time, it's, you know, you have debt, so you have this much more to catch up with. And I mean, I really panic, and I'm still going through that now where I'm exiting grad school, so it's like, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do.
I can. Pause. It was a play pause because, you know, getting ready to be done, I couldn't, you know, attend certain meetings. I couldn't travel. You know, when my career was picking up, I couldn't travel because I couldn't miss class. Mr. just told us he missed class. I couldn't miss class. You know, I couldn't be there for myself the way I wanted to. You know, to build my career, it was just, it felt like a restraint. You know, and you know, right after I graduated, it's like, all right, so get out of here.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, it just picked up really quickly from there. You know.
I totally understand. Give me 1 second. To our viewers out there who want to call in, if you could just give us about another 20 minutes to get into the actual topic before you guys start calling, I would greatly appreciate it, because I want to get a chance to talk to everyone, but I also want to get into the actual show. So, pause. All right. Now, a question that I have: what keeps you motivated? What has kept you motivated while dealing with the struggle associated?
I can. A lot of things, but I think it's also in, for me, I try to turn lows into lessons. So if I'm going through like a really tough moment, I'm just like, look, this has to mean something. What can I learn, or what can I gain out of what I'm feeling or what I'm dealing with now that is going to push me, you know? So I really definitely, you know, I say knowledge of self, but then, you know, turning those lows into lessons and just doing different things. You know, you can actually motivate yourself. And I think that's a big one, knowing how to motivate yourself. You know, songs.com, grooveshark.com. I'm up 2, 3 in the morning typing away, working, and just, you know, listening to music that I know is going to motivate me. I'm not, you know, Gucci, Nicki Minaj. I can't have them yelling in my ear, you know, while I'm trying to do something of, you know, something serious. So, you know, it's just good music, just, you know, bringing in the things that I know are going to motivate me, being around good people. I try to work and befriend people who will inspire me, people who will teach me something. So if I'm having a bad day, you know, I can just sit around my friends and hear something that inspires me, or hear something that's going to make me say, you know what, you know, you're right. You know, so I think it's just your friends, your family, you know, knowledge of self, saying I can do this, you know, at the end of the day, and not believing in yourself, but having faith in yourself. Because believe is not a certain, you don't have certitude with belief. It's like, what time is it? I believe it's 6 o'clock. Okay, so you believe, but so when you say yourself, do you believe in yourself, or do you have faith in yourself? That's a whole next level. You know what I'm saying? So I think just having faith in myself at the end of the day and saying, I'm discouraged. Telling myself, you know, I feel discouraged right now, and allowing myself to acknowledge that feeling, but at the same time opening myself up to let that feeling go. You know, saying, all right, I'm discouraged, but you know what? I got this. I have faith in myself. So.
All right, Sean.
She said a lot of points for me.
Yeah, me too.
I guess, like she mentioned earlier, as far as your major and so forth, it's with passion, and if you get into school and you want to do something that you want to do, or you find something that you have a passion for, it'll prevail over all else. And again, life itself has up and down, so just being in college or allowing your work to pile up, or you partied too hard one night and you know you did it to yourself, and these are life lessons. And again, it's pushing and driving yourself, believing in yourself that you can do it and actually doing it, because I'm a procrastinator to the fullest. I could have nothing to do for a week prior to a paper being done, and I'm not going to do my paper until maybe 48 hours before that. Some people are better under pressure, so. I feel that as well. So downers or so forth, it doesn't really get me down. I just I like the pressure personally.
I think, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think he made another good point is, the ups and downs of life. Just realizing that for every down moment, there's going to be an even higher moment. So just saying like, all right, I'm going through a low moment right now, but what I'm building is even greater. So it doesn't matter.
Most definitely. So now I want to talk about the career shift. The career shift basically is the process of trying to find a job. You just spent 4 years in school studying this one concentration, and now trying to find a job. Your major was?
Public relations.
Your major was?
Entertainment business.
Mass communication. So basically all media related right here. And so trying to find a job, because I know from my personal experience, when I go to soandso.com or soandso.com, I'm like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. If I can learn it. I can do it. So you're sitting there, and then you scroll down, and you see where it says requires 5 to 6 year experience. How are we, as recent graduates, supposed to gain that experience when no one is willing to give us the opportunity to even get it? And then I feel like, they're so hesitant to give us that opportunity, but we're the recent grads, which means we have the most up-to-date knowledge as to what the job requires. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I don't understand that. I really don't understand. Well, I guess I could understand, because there's certain needs that a job has, and it needs to be filled. And so what I can say is, I'm pretty sure most businesses have that kind of requirement because they know what they want and they know what they need, and they aren't sure if we can give that to them right then and there. With the way the economy is, you can't risk certain things, And when it comes to those positions, that's something that they can't risk. And if somebody can't fill those requirements, then that costs money and that costs time, especially if they have to refill that position. Do I feel like that's the best way? No, not even, because coming out of school, not only are we hungry, we want that job, we want that position, but we also want to be an asset to that company or to that employer, and then on top of that, like you said, we have the best, the most up-to-date. Right. But the thing about it is, not only do we have the most up-to-date knowledge in that particular field, that's coming from all over, but we've also bridged the gap between, an older individual's intellectual property and what we're learning about the world now. Right. So it's like a convergence that I feel like, recent grads can actually offer, but it's just, it's the risk. I think the risk factor
is... That's what it is.
I believe it is.
So they're not willing to...
I believe it is.
You put it right, she believe.
I believe it is.
I don't know, especially with me, because I run into this a lot where now I'm looking at jobs and I have a master's, so it's like I'm qualified for plenty of positions, but no experience, or you need it in this certain field. And honestly, it's dressing up the resume, or, to overcome that, because any employer, the right individual in the interview, we can talk, or they'll overcome or look past certain things. But it's definitely a challenge to get that interview. And with my school, they kind of taught us a lot of entrepreneur skills, or like we wrote a lot of business plans to kind of start companies for ourselves. And congrats to you, or I definitely applaud you for, because it's easy to do so. Like that's the way that they molded us from going from my school, is how to be on your own, or get freelance work, or just allow yourself to be in your own, besides relying on a big or small company to give you a chance. And I don't know, like I'm not really looking for a job to, get into. So I'd rather try to find my own freelance work, or, just get, it was the temporary ventures where you get a contract
and
here.
You mentioned freelance work. You ready? I'm ready. If you ready, I'm ready to tag team with you.
Freelance?
Just about not waiting for opportunities, but creating.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is a big one.
Yeah.
Especially with us nowadays,
yeah, like
and the digital, everything is easy. Honestly,
We're
everything that you guys learned in your degree program as well as mine, the next person can go Google it. So we have a piece of paper that puts us as certified or says that we can do it, but anybody can do anything if you want to.
And we have now.
Yes.
Every day is nothing but time and opportunity. So it's definitely creating, and again, goes back to passion and what you want to do.
Exactly. And with him saying creating, I have this belief, if you will, and I read a quote and it's saying creativity is the extension of your enthusiasm. And so, like, you're really pushing yourself, that mind power is really going and it's working, and everybody is creating, thought is that original substance. So what you build that's intangible, you can turn that into something that's real. It's just a matter of that drive, that get up and go, Right. I think the biggest problem, though, is lack of resources in creating, because more people want to. Right now, there are more consumers than producers, yet more people want to be producers instead of consumers, yet they lack resources in order to create. So it's just like, it makes sense though, so it's kind of like, it's like, I want to do this, but now I can't do this. You got your degree in music, but your opportunities aren't there. You want to create your opportunities, but you might need, money right off. You might need capital, you might need certain things. So I think that's like one of the barriers. Yeah, it is.
People don't know
how to go about getting it.
Right.
Most definitely. So my next question is, what has changed in your life since graduation?
You go first. I need to think.
A lot, because it's a sense of accomplishment, and I know personally coming out of high school, I mean, not to say I didn't barely finish high school, but at the same time, you want me to go back to school? And again, I went to an accelerated school, and I didn't start until I was 22. Okay. So I did take a lot of time off, but going into school and being in this bigger environment, and you learn different life lessons in school every day, where same as with the real world, but now you're kind of put to deal with certain people. It's almost like a job, but a million more egos. Is different, divergence, where you have this person in college who don't want to be here and they came to party, but you hang out with them, you party more, or it's a lot. And coming out of school, I could look back on it and say, all right, now this is real life, and it's definitely a new insight or perspective on almost any aspect of life, having been in college and dealing with, I guess, the real world directly after high school, then going to college and now re-entering the quote-unquote real world. It's eye-opener to a lot of things.
Yeah, I can definitely say is an eye-opener. I think the biggest thing, honestly, is the different learning lessons, just the different things you learn day in and day out, whether you're working with somebody who you never expected to be working with, and you're like, okay, I'm working with you now, I'm gonna be a sponge sitting at this table, and so it's like taking yourself to school. I've realized, if I'm not gonna do, grad school, I'm gonna take myself to school every day. Every time I go to work or I sit down with my partner, I'm gonna learn from him, or learn from each other somehow or another. But I really think it's the learning lessons down to, how to talk to somebody, because you can't pay something. I can't pay this. What am I gonna say when they call me, or am I gonna ignore them today?
Speaking of calls, you guys can call now. But I want to talk about a particular call from a set of twins, Sally and Nellie Mae. Did they call you?
Not yet, because I went back to school to avoid that. I'm still in the green room.
Do you know Sally Mason's text messages now?
Whoa!
Sent me a text message at 3 in the morning,
promise you could reply.
And Sally said, "You need to call in regards to your account." And we had a call. Probably was Sally.
It was probably Sally. It probably really was.
Probably was Sally.
Luckily for me, I didn't go through them to try to get aid. I did do financial aid grants, scholarships, family, you know, just getting through school, because that's what I wanted to do. But it is kind of like, I can see how something like Sallie Mae would be an automatic burden by the time you get out, because you're trying to get that job, but you can't pay her because you can't get that job now.
Right. Hello, caller. How are you?
Hi, Anthony.
Hi. How are you? Hello.
Hi, how are you? Hi, honey.
How are you?
Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina. What's your question?
I'm so proud of you. I don't have a question. I just wanted to call and say that.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you more. Thank you.
The number not on the screen if you did want to give it back.
Oh, yeah. Can we get the number up on the screen so that the people can remember it just in case I said it incorrectly?
Shout it out to him.
Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, Anthony. This is Doretha Huntley. How are you?
Hi, Miss Huntley. I'm doing quite well. No complaints at all.
Great. I've been listening to your show, and it is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Everything that hello to your guests, first of all.
Hello.
I've been listening to everything you all are saying, and I love the message here. I hope the other listeners are receiving it. And one thing Anthony said I love, don't sit and wait. You got to create your opportunities.
Yes.
You know, don't wait on them to recognize or acknowledge you. You know, go out there and create your opportunities. Brand yourself as an expert, because like you said, you all have the knowledge. You got to put it out there. You know, your recent grads, you got that fresh energy going. You got the knowledge of what's what in the world. You got to put out. I'm a little bit older than you all. I'll say that. I won't tell how much.
Yes, ma'am.
But you know, I became an entrepreneur after a military career, after a career in healthcare management, after getting my education in organizational management. And I have to say, something I've learned is your connections are the key to your opportunities. You know, to build a business today, you need three things: technology, solid social networks, and knowledge about something that people need. And you all have that knowledge. Your generation, you're into the technology. You got the solid social network. So don't wait on them. Put yourself out there. Share your knowledge with everybody you know, and you're just one person away from that big break that you need.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm actually with two companies, Market America, Team Beachbody, because I found what I love to do and what's my passion, and I turn those into businesses. You know, we have opportunities in everything from website development, weight loss, health and fitness, music production, music promotion, health and beauty. I mean, just anything.
So, I mean, they're out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're out there.
They are out there, and we are looking for people just like you. That's what we're looking for, the go-getters, the movers and shakers. You know, I don't want to sound like little cliches, but that's what we're looking for. You know, it really is, because you guys, I mean, you stick together. You know, you talk to your friends, they listen to you, and like I said, once you're an expert, you're the go-to person. So then when in turn, okay, the experience that you need, you're going to get that on your own. You might decide you don't want a job. You know, you want to just continue growing your business. You know, you can expand businesses based on your individual passions, based on what you figure out is your purpose in life. And the freedom from that, let me tell you, like I said, after the military career, hospital career, the freedom of being an entrepreneur completely surpasses clocking in 9 to 5, you know, running to somebody else's beat. It just makes a big difference. So you guys, you know, keep the mindset that you have of finding your opportunities. And actually, your opportunities are right there in front of you. You probably just don't realize it yet. Networking is the key.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, I highly agree.
I agree with you.
Well, Ms. Huntley, thank you so much for calling. We have a Facebook page, The Anthony Cosby Show. If you want to go on there and post some links so that the listeners as well as the two guests can go and get some more.
She hiring.
He just said he's looking. He's looking. So if you want to go post those links on The Anthony Cosby Show so that the viewers and the guests can go and learn more, that'd be great.
I will. You guys take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you guys, we're going to take a short break, and we will be right back. So now we're about to get back into the show. For those of you who are just tuning in, we're talking about College Hill, the struggles associated with life after college. And my guests again is Miss Alicia Seay and Mr. Shaun Frisk. All right, so now I want to talk about different strokes. Different strokes. When I say different strokes, Alicia, you mentioned that you were a super senior, 5 years. So what, if anything, would you have done differently to position yourself, not to not be a super senior per se, but to not deal with so many struggles associated with, let's take this.
Okay.
Give us one.
You can go ahead.
Thank you for calling. How can I help you? Why do I sound like I'm answering a grocery store phone? Hi, how are you?
What's going on today, Mr. Cosby?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed, man. Just was watching your show, me and my wife, man, and if you would believe, you remember Shaun Young?
Yes, I do.
I'm Ricky, man. I remember when you was, I said, about 11 or 12, and you used to always talk to her. She was a friend of your sister April.
I remember.
You remember Rick?
I do.
Man, it's a blessing, man, to see you, man, grow up and mature to a grown young man.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And I admire what y'all doing, man. Just say hello to you two guests, man, and I'll be checking out the show from here on out.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, man.
That's every Thursday.
Have a blessed one.
Correct.
You too, man. Have a blessed one.
Remind them.
Every Thursday at 9.
Every Thursday at 9, right here, Comcast, 95, 36.
Different strokes.
So different strokes. What would you have done differently to position yourself to not deal with so many struggles associated with life after college?
Honestly, 3 major things. I would have saved more during college, especially when you start to get things. If you live off campus and you get financial aid and you get overage check, and not just spending it on everything you need right then and there, but saying, okay, let me cut back some and save some of this, because you can. And that, I think that would have helped so much more, as well as internships, like way more internships. I waited till the last minute. Right before I graduated, that summer, I had an internship with the Raise 5 project at VCU, and they focus on HIV prevention and substance abuse. And so I'm all over campus, just trying to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on and what's out there in Richmond. But definitely internships, because I learned so much at that internship, and I was just so inspired by the people I was working under. But like I said earlier in the show, after like a year, you really want you want to be nurtured in your field again. You want that mentorship. So I was just looking all over the place, just trying to find something that I could bring back out of myself. And I would say faith from the very beginning of college, not kind of just finding faith in myself well after.
Okay. Can you cut your TV down some? Hello?
Hold on.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Yo, Frisk.
Yo.
What's up, baby?
How you doing, sir?
What's up, man? This your man. Look, this your brother, man.
Who that?
This Jake, man.
Oh, what up, man? How you?
Hey, I'm doing fine, man. I see you on TV, man. I just wanted to call, man. Give you a shout out, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right.
The boy said, "What's up, too, man?"
Oh, what's up? What's up?
All right, man. That's all I wanted to say, though.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Shaun.
Yes, sir.
Different strokes.
Well, I guess that was actually to bring in my comment per se, because for people who know me, it's going to sound odd me saying this, but I would say put more time into being productive, because I think all college students afterwards could look back on things they spent a lot of time on, which proved to be irrelevant. You could have done without, or you put a lot of time into, just even maybe hanging out with friends or watching movies just a little bit too much. And again, education or the knowledge obtained in college is all of what you make it. And I'm not the first one to go study or so forth, but again, if it's something that puzzles me, I'm the first one to Google it. And, for us all in our passion of PR, like, let's, just go into what I want to say. It's go into detail for more that would be useful later on after you get out of college, and then you are there with the knowledge, such as like a lot of my teachers was experts in their fields, or they come to my school because of their experience opposed to just being able to teach. And again, conversations that I had with my teacher was topics that wasn't touched in class, but I remember those intimate conversations more than maybe a lesson plan that was given to me, but I took the extra in to look into it, or maybe I read and saw something, looked into it, or something was on the news or anything, but you just kind of look for more knowledge for yourself to position yourself better after college and to do more while in college as it pertains to your future, opposed to living too much in the moment. We all want to have fun.
I was just going to say, not just enjoying the ride of college, you know, not just enjoying the ride. And I don't know, it just, like I said earlier, it reminds me of another quote, and it says, the opposite of courage isn't cowardice, it's conformity. You know, so not just being like everybody, not being like all of your friends and everybody that's around you, but making sure that you find yourself and you are yourself the whole way through, so that, you know, once you get to that point, you've got what you need. You know, you don't have what your friends need or what they wanted to do, you know. At some point in college, the people who are just like their friends, if you will, they're going to have to reclaim that position of being themselves. So, you know, don't wait until your senior year to be yourself. You know, I would say that.
Side note, where do we get these quotes from? Because I love like, that was 2, 3 already.
Those are deep quotes.
I love reading.
Okay. You mentioned finding yourself and all that. Kind of want to speak on branding yourself and networking. Okay. Branding yourself with social networking.
I mean, that goes back into being positive or productive because, again, Miss Hutchkin, am I correct?
Miss Huntley.
Huntley.
Let me take this from you.
Okay.
Thank you for calling. How can I help you? I got to come up with a different way to answer the phone. Hello. Thank you.
The AC show.
How can I help you? Oh, this is Anthony. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Are you ready for my question?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Yes, this is Pastor D.L. Williams from Danville, Illinois, and I have a question.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead, Pastor.
Yes, I want to know what encouraging words do you have for, you know, college students who have been sheltered by their parents all of their lives, and then they get to college and are exposed to such a big, fast world. What advice do you have for those kids as far as staying in college and maintaining their focus on their studies?
Can you hear me, Pastor?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that a lot, and I guess what I would definitely recommend or to that individual was stay true to yourself, you know, and how they were brought up, and not to say don't or discourage them for involving or exploring, you know, the college life, but I believe the pressure or so forth, people get away or just want to try everything new opposed to, you know, being comfortable with themselves. And that's the main thing. If you're not comfortable with yourself going into the college aspect from being sheltered, where it's nothing wrong with being sheltered and, you know, being in your own and not of the world per se, but definitely just make sure that they're comfortable with themselves. And again, this goes back with the parents who raised them. They need to stay as active, maybe not as hard, but as active in their life to make sure that they are on track or is still someone with them in a environment where they're not used to per se.
I want to, Pastor, I just want to say one thing that I learned, because I'm a very spiritual person. You know, my church family played a vital role in my whole life per se. So one thing that was constantly instilled in me in church was to remember that I was born to stand out, so I struggled to fit in. And also I was told to keep sight of my purpose. if you have constant vision or sight of what your purpose is, like there is no reason for you to ever get off track if you know what your main objective and what your purpose is. And I had to learn that at Shaw, because my purpose was not to go to this party. It was not to do this. It was not to become a part of this organization. It was to get a degree. And so knowing that I didn't have to fit in and knowing what my purpose was, those are the two things. Because I was a sheltered child.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, Ward Street and all that. So yeah, I was a very sheltered child. So just knowing what my purpose was and knowing that it was all right to be different and to be me.
I would say, I'm sorry. I would say not putting pressure on them to be a particular way or to be that model college student, because there is no model college student because everybody's different. And just ensuring that what they're going to school for is what they really truly want to go to school for, even if they don't know at first and need to take different classes. Encourage them to do something different. Say, you know, I know you're interested in being a medical student. Well, why don't you just try an art class or try a literature class, you know, just to see if something else actually does press a button for you. And then once I think a student finds themselves in a certain particular area that they love, they're all in it.
All right.
Pastor? Also, one thing that I want to add, you know, Anthony, you hit on something very important about knowing your purpose. I always say that your destiny determines your direction. If you know what your purpose is, you know what path you should take to get to that purpose. If you know what your destiny is, you know what directions that you ought to go. And sometimes you're going to be hooked up with people who are moving in, you know, variegated directions that are contrary to your destiny. And that's when you have to be mindful enough to know and make a wise decision that I need to, you know, veer off this way because this is the direction of my destiny. I want to encourage you all. You all doing an awesome thing. I'm proud of all of you all for having such an empowering television show and radio broadcast, whatever it is that you're doing. So keep up the great work. Keep being a light for those that are falling behind you all. And I wish the best of God's favor upon all of you all's life.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, have a great one.
You too.
Thank you.
Like, how did you come back after that?
Yeah.
That was good.
That was good.
It was good,
That
though.
was good. This goes into branding yourself. Because, again, now, the individual who was sheltered, you know, that's actually a brand in itself if you continue to take that with you going into school. And just where I was going to go with branding myself is, as far as coming into college, it's no one thinks about the person they're going to be or the environment that they're in where, you know, just like what they tell you in high school, the kid that you pick on could be your boss later, so forth. So when you get to college, not to say it's that much of a different playing field, but again, I don't know where you met your business partner at, but you know, if me and her in college together, and instead of us partying all the time and we're in the same class and hey, we started a company, or this could be the environment for more group productivity because everyone's here together with the common cause. And I guess finding that leader or that person who's to say, I'm going to walk this way and so forth. Because, I mean, we all haven't, or, you know, we did it to a certain extent. We could have done it more. We could have done it less. But just,
I say, you know, I say life is half finding yourself, half creating yourself, you know, and so.
Quote.
No, I made that up.
Oh, okay, you got that one.
Yeah, it's half finding yourself and half creating yourself, and I feel like just being around like-minded individuals, and not like-minded in the sense that, oh, we like to party the same, or, you know, we go to the same club, but I mean intellectually like-minded, you know. So once you find the people who are on the same page and the same speed as you mentally and are trying to go about the same route, I think that that's a good position to be in, and you can really start to brand yourself because you found an aspect of yourself. I don't know, branding that's a big one. I'm thinking in aspects of like PR, Facebook, you know, like I'm like.
But now, speaking of that,
can I say something real before I forget? But Facebook, like, I don't think a lot of people realize that Facebook is an advertising site that also offers you the service of interacting the way in which we do on Facebook. Right. Therefore, every time you make a post or a status, a comment, those are public announcements. You're publicly saying this. So that's why, if you notice, some of the stuff people say comes back to them, or it brands them, because perception is reality. You are what you do.
I'm on Facebook and I see somebody putting all their business out like this. I'm like, she is so ghetto. It's branding.
Exactly. You might see something and all they have on their, wall is nonsense, and it's like, okay, so is that who you are? Mm-hmm. What is the reality is perception, and you're putting that out there, but what is the message? What is the message you're saying about yourself?
Right.
I mean, she took the words out of my mouth, because speaking of branding and now social media, mm-hmm. that ties into the two, but not most people would correlate it, where this is. I know me personally, I have, if not 4,000, definitely 3,000 friends on Facebook. I don't have a personal relationship with them all, but at the same time, I've been places where someone has spoken to me, or I know you, and that right there, I think of, what do they think of me? How, it's, what do you know about me, or when did you see me, or so forth, and that is the prime example of branding yourself, because who's the individual that's only using the professional pictures on Facebook, opposed to I'm in party with a cup in my hand and but and then they say employers look at this, but you put it here and it's there, right? And you can't take it back. But I mean, that's definitely a good point to mention for anyone who's in college or in a position to better brand themselves in the future using social media. That's the first.
I feel like the biggest thing you need to think about when you're branding yourself is, how true are you being to yourself? Like, how honest are you really being? Like, at the end of the day, if you go scroll down your Facebook or your Twitter, or you're just thinking about the perception that you give off and the energy you give off to people, yeah, exactly. You got to think about that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
So now, thinking about the struggles associated with life after graduation and all that we just said, there could be a student who's watching right now who we possibly could help prevent dealing with the same struggle that we've once found ourselves dealing with. What advice, or what would you tell a student who's watching now that you wish someone would have told you, Shaun?
First, I mean, a lot of people switch majors and so forth, and we've spoken a lot about passion, and some people, oh, I seen this, I really like that, and so forth, and it's hard to find your passion, because who's to say entertainment and music is my passion? Maybe I forced myself to believe so, and I pursued it until later I hit the hard place, like, this is really not what I want to do.
Right.
Now, my advice to be with someone, research everything, explore all options, and again, be true to yourself, where if you can, I know some schools, freshmen don't have to have majors, and you can just be, so you go and you could talk, or maybe you could even sit in a class to see if that's really what you want to do. I'm a firm believer that college is not for everyone, because it's trade schools, there's other alternative means of bettering yourself to position yourself. Like, if I want to be a barber, you don't need to go to college. You need to go to cosmetology school. But it's somebody who would make an awesome barber or a beautician sitting in somebody's college right now. So again, it's taking the time to really hone in on what's your passion or what it is that you want to do. Be true to yourself. Again, the college that you go to is, it doesn't help define you, but check the environment, because you might do better at for us African Americans at a HBCU, or you might do better where black is not as prominent in your school, and that's just the case. Right. Know that, and do your research. Just make sure everything is really what you want to do, and nobody can change your mind. Like, I argue with myself against myself all the time, just for the sake of making sure this is what I want to do. So.
Right. Before you answer, I want to say two things because he just said that we're kind of running out of time. Yes or no question for both of you to answer.
Okay.
Because when I was younger, someone used to always tell me, you can tell what you're passionate about in life because you can wake up and see yourself doing it for free. Yes or no? Agree?
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Once again, someone told me when I was younger, you can tell when you're passionate about something because you could wake up and see yourself doing whatever it is for free. Meaning you don't have to be paid or compensated or rewarded or anything for it. Like, you're passionate about it and you enjoy doing it. Go ahead.
And this question was the advice, right?
Yes.
Yes, what advice would you
I
give?
agree with him as far as do your research, because come my second year, remember I said I thought I could just get all these A's, and you know that was college the same way. And sometimes you have to petition for classes, in which I didn't do. You know, I was just like, I'm gonna get this A and go into that class. It's closed because I didn't petition for it. You know, that it's always going to be closed until I do my research and say, okay, I need to do this in order to get in this class, and then do this to get in this class, and think about those prerequisites and not just, you know, just go for it. You know, so definitely do your research. Definitely do what you're most passionate in, and just explore yourself. You know, like I said, finding yourself, have creativity. So push yourself and explore yourself. And then most definitely is just learn how to be your own boss before you even graduate. So, you know, you may not want to be an entrepreneur like us, but, you know, being your own boss, if nobody's going to tell you what to do, you need to be able to tell yourself what to do. At the end of the day, you know, you are going to be the driving force behind yourself, and you're going to make all the decisions, whether somebody wants you to do that or not. So learning how to be your own boss in every situation.
Alrighty. This is the Anthony Cosby Show. How can I help you? Why do I keep saying
AC Show.
Good evening, Mr. Cosby.
Good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I would just like to make a comment.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Great show. And I would really love to see y'all go to some youth Bible studies and talk to some of the college students, well, some of the kids that's getting ready to go to college.
Okay.
That's a big show. And I'm really, really proud of you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Here on the Anthony Cosby Show, the main purpose is to motivate, educate, and entertain. So I hope that all that was shared amongst us did that. It motivated, educated, as well as entertained. Any final words?
Get involved.
Get involved.
Find your passion and get involved.
Find your passion.
No, actually, can I say something?
Go
Because
ahead,
we're talking about the struggles associated with life after college. So I would just, you know, say struggle creates depth.
Yeah.
Depth creates character. And character builds your charisma. And charisma can get you far in life, you know? I actually made that one up.
Just now?
And, nope, I put it on my Facebook. But, you know, I always remind myself, though, that of that, you know, that flows into lessons again. You know, when I'm going through something, I say, you know what? This is building me somehow. This is, you know, I'm growing from this moment. So, you know, struggle does create depth in you, you know, and depth does create that character. You know, so
to build on that, and just for advice for anyone, there's no struggle that we can't overcome. I mean, it's a struggle for a reason. You're gonna take something from it. Any struggle, just keep the fight alive. Whether it's school, it's life, relationships, it's, you know, the struggle is there to better you, if anything, and don't. What's the word I want to use? Don't get down, or don't find yourself believing that you're a failure of struggle, because once it's over, you're 10 times the person you was before you endured that struggle.
that is so true.
And I just want to say, keep in mind that no matter what it is you're going through, it could always be worse. And if you just properly prioritize things in your life,
Yes.
things would be so much better. So, with that being said, I'm being told to wrap it up.
Can I do a shameless plug?
Thank you guys
Can I
for
do a
viewing.
shameless
I want to
plug?
thank my guests.
No, thank you.
Thank you
for
guys
having
so
us.
much.
Can I
Anthony
do a shameless
Cosby
plug?
Show, you know, give it up
Thank
to you.
I want to thank all the people that called. We really do appreciate your support, and hopefully
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday,
Next
9 p.m.
Thursday.
right here.
And find us online.
Find
Yes.
us online. He's about to bring up our social media information. You can tweet us, find us on Facebook. That's enough information.
Reach out.
Yes.
I definitely
that's
encourage everybody to reach out.
Oh yeah, please reach out. Reach out.
I'll be back as many times as you let me.
Same here.
Definitely.
So, we got some good guests now, so I'm satisfied.
Yes.
So once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.